Welcome back to Shenanigans, everybody. There is a man standing in the street, sword pointed at the one youth that got away, while the girl who stole your purse is lying down the street with a dog standing over her.
Okay, I'll shout at the man. There's no need to threaten anybody here. It's being taken care of.
Oh, I think this little thief needs to know that the pain of death rests on her is she to move forward an inch. Now,
Who are you to threaten this poor child?
I am the sheriff of this town, and I will be taking these two children into custody for their crimes. I see that this one was stealing from you, if that's what I heard correctly.
No, she was stealing my heart. I was trying to give her some coins because she was a poor orphan in the street,
And so you had your dog attack her and knock her to the ground.
And I dropped my purse and she caught it and was fumbling with it, and my dog got really excited because Virtue loves kids.
It's not every day you see a cleric of Martha tell a lie. She would be ashamed of you, you know. She's an honest goddess. I see by that medallion around your neck, I must have hit a nerve with you. Why don't we take these two and put them in jail, and we'll have a nice chat about...
Don't I have to press charges for that to happen?
What do you think this is, a democracy? Do you think this has representative government? Do you think that there's a Bill of Rights to secure their crimes? No. These two have been caught red-handed and are therefore guilty. They need no trial. They need no one to press charges. They are thieves. They are delinquents. They are... What is the word? Leeches on the state. By robbing you, they rob all of us. You have no jurisdiction here, ma'am. But I would love to hear your thoughts on...
Martha's jurisdiction is the entire world. And all the people in it.
It is for that reason and that reason alone I am willing to hear your arguments. But first, let's put these two whippersnappers behind bars so I don't have to shed blood today. I hate paperwork.
There's no need for blood. There's no harm has been done.
All right, you kid, that way. You get the other one, and he starts marching the girl who ran off towards the sheriff's station, which is maybe a half block away.
All right. I go, do you know who I am? I'm gonna pull the noble thing here.
We can do introductions once we get back to my station.
I am Melissa Silvertongue.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that Melissa. Yes, those Silvertongues.
Look, ma'am. I don't know who you are or who your family is. Why don't we get back to the sheriff's station and we can talk there? Like a good law-abiding citizen.
Are you implying that a priestess of Martha is not?
I'm implying that you are being non-cooperative with me.
I've heard about you human sheriffs and what you do and how you say people are being non-cooperative.
Listen, Elfie.
I've heard about that.
I'm sure you've heard about all sorts of things.
It's a lucky thing that so many of these people in this town now seem to have iPhones. They just keep coming up over and over again. They must be pretty popular here now.
Come on, let's get these kids in jail and then we can talk. Got to get them secure so they don't run away.
All right, I'm gonna try to move myself so that to face me and talk to me, the sheriff is facing away from the kiddies.
That's kind of the situation. He's just like, he's got his sword pointed towards the one girl and he's poking her in the back with it as she walks. And he's just like talking, like looking at her, but yelling over his shoulder if he can. He's not really facing you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna grab my purse. I'm gonna call over Virtue, and I'm gonna march right up to him.
Are you gonna leave the other kid in the street, just knocked down on the ground?
You said the kid was, well, it was non-lethal. You said the kid was not even knocked out, right?
Yeah, not knocked out, but knocked down.
Yeah.
Okay, so the kid gets up and just takes off on her own. The one that your dog knocked down, right? Because you're not guarding her, and the sheriff isn't guarding her.
Okay. Oh no, Sheriff, that one's getting away. Quick, I'll guard this one.
Oh, no. I got a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. I ain't letting this one go.
I'm trying to get up in the sheriff's face and get the sheriff facing me. And trying to look like down low, give the kid a little hand signal to run. I'm trying to get the sheriff's or focus right on me.
Right. No, the sheriff he's a good, I shouldn't say good, he's an efficient sheriff. He understands how to do his job, and is focused on getting this one kid behind bars. So he marches her into the sheriff's station, kind of ignoring you as you come along with him, and puts her in a jail cell that is crowded with 4 other people. There are 2 completely empty jail cells next to them. You got these 5 people now crowded into the single one. Then he turns back around, goes to his desk, sits down, hangs his sword on the peg, the sword belt on the peg, and goes, "All right. So, we got a few things. First off, who the hell is Melissa Silvertongue?"
I am.
Secondly, why did you let that kid go? She stole from you. And I'm sure there was a third one, but I've already forgotten it. So let's stick with the first 2. Who are you? Oh yeah, are you pressing charges stuff? What evidence can you provide for the state against these scoundrels?
I have no evidence to press charges against these children.
I see. You're one of those soft on crime sorts, aren't you?
Absolutely not. My mace is called consequences, and I make sure that evildoers face consequences.
And you maintain that this person wasn't stealing from you. You just sent your dog after her, and she dropped your purse with all the money.
My dog gets pretty excited sometimes.
You're saying your dog is a danger to the town, and it needs to be put down?
I'm saying that my dog is a wonderful, wonderful dog who knows many, many tricks and is no danger to anyone.
Your dog just knocked down that poor girl in the street. Could have killed her. She hit her head on a rock. She could be dead right now. Either you told your dog to attack her, or your dog is a liability.
Now listen. I am from the Silvertongue family, one of the oldest and noblest of the elven families. And I am not used to being talked to this way.
Well, you might be a noble back home, but around these parts, you're just an elf.
Why, thank you.
Well, it's not a compliment.
Elf is always a compliment.
But you look like a noble, and you walk like a noble, and you sure as hell sound like a noble. So, milady, what can I do for you today?
Isn't it customary that for nobles often to take care of crimes against themselves?
For an elf, you certainly are well versed in human culture.
I may have even taken a proficiency in local history.
And you chose our history to be the one you studied?
That's what local means.
Could have been local at the place you studied it back home in Elflands.
No, that's ancient history. I took that proficiency too.
Well, you certainly are a well-studied little brat. Young lady.
I may have saved 1/2 of my cleric character points to put into skill proficiencies.
Well, that sounds something like something a thorn in my side would do. So, you want to take this young woman into your custody and punish her yourself, as is your...
She is dealt with as is needed.
You're just going to let her go, aren't you?
Oh, no, there will be a firm talking to about Martha, about what she has done, and how Martha would not like that. She will have to come to the Temple of Martha, wherever you have that here, and participate in services and do many, many prayers to ask for forgiveness so that she can see the light of her ways.
All right, so
it will be very good for her soul.
Berkshire, town you're in, we have a lot of ruined temples in the outlying parts of town, but we only got the one temple left in town. And it's a pretty slapdash generic temple with all the statues, all the gods, even Verossi and Malchus and Ponos.
You have no temple to Martha?
There's no dedicated temple. There's a shrine, a small shrine on the corner of Old Lady McGee's house. She maintains a small little Martha shrine, but...
It sounds like somebody needs to establish a temple of Martha here, since there's not one established.
Let me tell you this. The last person... he was an elf when he came through here. Last person that tried to create a temple in this town met a grisly fate. I think he was cut down by an orc in the streets. By bears? No. An orc killed him for...
The orc was a werebear?
No. There's nothing to do with bears. The cook over at Shenanigans cut him down. He was some damn foolish elf of some crazy god I ain't never heard of.
The cook at Shenanigans just cuts down elves?
Well, to be fair, he kind of had it coming. He disrupted the cook's wedding. Scared off the cook's...
Weddings are sacred to Martha.
Not only scared off the cook's bride, but sent her away to another town as part of a surprise bachelor party. The orc didn't take too well to the surprise bachelor party that spanned multiple days and multiple locations, as it also interrupted the wedding.
Bachelor parties are just an excuse for bad behavior.
Well, this elf certainly thought it was a good thing to do. And the orc killed him for it. And I'm not arresting old Borsch for ridding the world of an insane cleric who kind of had it coming, so we turned our blind eye on that one.
Well, anyways, I feel that after that tangential conversation, which had no bearing on the current matter, that we should definitely move for me to take this hooligan over to the shrine and redeem her soul.
Well, that's...
And make her into a good follower of Martha, adding to the light of this city, and clearly we need to establish a temple to Martha, and perhaps this kind of thing...
And that's where the tangent came from. Crazy new elves to the town trying to establish temples. Last elf that did that met a grisly end.
Are you saying a temple to Martha would not benefit the town? It would not teach people goodness and rightness, and therefore make your job easier as a sheriff by reducing the number of evildoers?
Have you ever heard the story?
I think we're on the same side, Sheriff.
Miss, have you ever heard the story about the gnome that wanted to provide indoor plumbing to the whole town? See, the story comes over from Eridon. There's this island to the north called Gate Isle, and it's a cold place, but there's this lake that they got, and the lake is a natural hot spring. There's something down there that just keeps the lake at a really warm, like 90-degree temperature all the time. And these gnomes...
That sounds pleasant.
These gnomes had this great idea. They were gonna run some pipes from the lake uphill to the town and then downhill on the other side and use a siphon so that you could just get hot lake water running through people's houses. So you could have heated floors, you could have indoor plumbing. Sounds fantastic, right? Sounds like a win-win for everyone. Well, Gnomes start building these pipes, start running hot water under the town. But the gnomes build the pipes a little bit too long. They put the pipes too deep into the river, not into the lake, not realizing how hot the lake is at the bottom. The pipes overheat, the town catches fire, 60 people die. Now, the gnomes had good intention, but they ended up burning down half the town. You have good intentions, but historically speaking...
There you are, boy, yes you are.
Historically speaking...
The weasel climbed up on my shoulders.
Historically speaking, foreigners with good intentions have bad outcomes. You know, they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I don't doubt that you want the best for our people. I just doubt that you know how to achieve the best for our people. So, newbie in town...
Do not worry. I have heeded your story, and believe me, we will not be providing hot water in this temple. It will be heated in a traditional way on a pot over a wooden fire in a very safe...
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor, young lady.
No, it won't be a metaphor. It'll be a real fire heating real water that's used to keep everything nice and clean as Martha would like. I am so glad we had this conversation. I will not make the mistake of putting pipes into this temple. That just seems like a gnome thing. We don't have that where I come from. I'm going to take this young lady...
He unlocks the door, drags the girl out, tosses her at your feet. Go! Take her and get out of here. I've had enough of your shenanigans.
And I go, you are going to be learning about Martha. You're going to be getting an earful. And I'll take her outside, and we'll go down the block, and I'll continue telling her off. And then we get around the corner. I'm like, do you see what your bad deeds almost made happen to you?
Bye! And then the kid turns and runs.
I'm holding onto her ear.
Okay, so she turns and goes,
I go, yeah, Missy.
Okay. That's not a bad deed. It's not a bad deed.
You tried to steal from me. That sheriff would have locked you up and killed you, or cut off your hands, or done whatever human sheriffs do. I've heard the town criers. I know what they're up to.
Kid looks sheepishly at you.
If it had been anybody else that you'd stolen from, what do you think would be happening to you right now?
They'd let me go?
They would have pressed charges. You'd be locked in that cell until the sheriff did whatever he was going to do to you, which was probably kill you. I heard the sheriff cuts people down on the streets for stealing. I just talked to a woman just this morning whose sister was killed by the sheriff for stealing. And I didn't want to believe it because I thought the sheriffs, you know, they're on the law and you must be for good. But this sheriff, he was about to kill you if you moved. Do you remember that? Do you not remember that?
I was just trying to impress Matilda.
Is this the way you impress people, by doing bad deeds?
Well, but not bad deeds, cool deeds.
How was that cool? It's cool to steal. I suppose you think it's cool to smoke.
Yeah. Smoking's cool.
No, it's not.
Well, yes it is. Everyone knows smoking's cool.
No, it's not. Do you know...
Yes, it is.
Who smokes? Demons. Are they cool?
Demons are pretty cool.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not. You know who's cool?
Not you.
Planetars and solars and... Oh, if I'm not cool, then how come I was voted Miss Peppy at Miss Lady Farindeer's school for young elven ladies?
How come I was voted Miss Peppy at elven ladies?
I just saved you from a horrible fate. I've got half a mind to go toss you back to the sheriff and tell him to do whatever he wants.
Tell him he wants to do whatever he wants.
Is that what you want to have happen?
Is that what you want to happen, to go back to the sheriff?
I start dragging her back towards the sheriff by the ear.
All right, yeah, the sheriff is standing in the doorway with his hands on his hip watching.
Yo, who are this girl's parents?
I don't know. I was gonna interrogate her, but you said you wanted to take her under your wing and dispense justice as you saw fit, as your right as a noble.
And we're gonna take her to her parents. We just need to know who they are. You're the sheriff. You should know who don't you know the everybody in town?
There's a lot of people in town. I ain't know them all. There's a lot of farmers out in the hills too, or wilds too.
What is the population of this town?
A couple thousand.
And you've lived here your whole life?
I have, yep.
So it's about the population of the high school I went to. He probably does know at least every family in the town.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, Missy. I don't know every family in this town. I don't know every family in the surrounding countryside. I sure as hell don't know this young whippersnapper, and it's no longer my problem. I got a whole jail cell full of thieves. There's been a whole rash of them lately. And I was hoping this one would give me some context, but I think watching you struggle with her is well worth the price of letting another thief go.
Well, Martha often tests us, and we have to work to overcome the obstacles. And,
well, why don't you pray it away?
And if there is one thing that being top form student and Miss Farron has taught me, it's how to work hard until I achieve my goals. I'm going to reach in, and you will notice that on my character sheet, there's a bell. I'm going to reach into my backpack, and I'm going to pull out a bell, and I'm going to start ringing it really, really loud. And I'll go, attention, attention. I need someone to tell me who are the parents of this little poorly behaved miscreant.
People start gathering and looking at the kid. The kid tries to shrink into as small of a figure as possible. Her shoulders hunch, her head bows, her knees bend a little bit.
This little girl tried to steal my purse. And
she did now, did she? Says the sheriff.
And I need to know her parents so that I can take her and we can have a word. And with her parents, we can work together to see that she doesn't act like this again.
Well.
So who can tell me who this girl's parents are?
Eventually, someone steps forward, cap in hand, off his head, and goes, "Oh, sorry to let you know, Madam Dignitary, that young girl's parents are the late Mr. and Mrs. Hamptonworth."
Mr. and Mrs. Hamptonworth?
Yes.
Well, I don't care if they're late as long as they get here eventually.
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's an idiom that means they've bought the farm.
They're farmers then. Well, farms have lots of hard work to do for young.
Ma'am, they're farmers, but they've kicked the bucket.
Well, these young children can pick it up and
they're pushing up daisies.
Well, it seems like those would get in the way of the crops, and that maybe these children could pick them so that they don't.
They've reached the end of their rope.
Well, if there's any hemp being grown on the farm, then they've
passed to the other side. Surely you know that one. They passed to the other side.
Well, then they need to get right back on their side of the fence and not tramp through other people's farms and gardens, because that's just rude.
They're dead.
Oh dear Lord, you humans do that?
No, they died of disease, cholera. They died of cholera.
You humans do that? I'd heard the stories.
But you don't die?
Well, not usually.
Everyone just kind of shakes their head and the group starts to dismiss. You can hear the murmured rumblings of angry peasants talking about elves and their immortality and being amazed that humans die and don't even understanding the culture of death and how it's such like an integral part of life, and it's a very philosophical discussion happening amongst these dirty peasants in this town, but a lot of smart people that come through here.
So who takes care of these children then? Who are their guardians?
The sheriff speaks up. They don't have any guardians. They live on the street. They fend for themselves. Did you know the word orphan? Orphan? One who lacks parents, one who has no stability or safety net?
You're saying they have no family to take care of them?
Well, little girl, is that true? She kind of makes a face, but gives a slight nod.
Well then, we're gonna have to see about that then. We can't just let them be out on the streets. That's wrong.
Well,
how are they supposed to take care of themselves?
You're a fancy noble. Why don't you fork over 100 gold, and I'll make sure that she's got a place to live, a dry roof over her head, and some food in her belly.
Well, my gear costs a lot, and I don't quite have that much at the moment.
I didn't know elven nobles were poor, my lady.
I'm not. Look at my faith.
Your faith will certainly feed this hungry belly tonight.
Well, I figured I would buy some soup for that. I heard that there's a lovely soup place just across from that Shenanigans.
There is.
Well then, we're just gonna have to take this girl and get some hot soup to warm her stomach to go with the Martha to warm her soul.
Well, good luck.
Thank you,
Let
Sheriff.
me know if you find out anything about the... Well, good luck.
Okay, so I'm still holding her by the ear
Yep.
as we go off, because she's obviously shown she's going to try to run away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you don't have any parents.
No.
Okay, I'm walking towards Shenanigans. Like, well, where do you live then?
With Matilda.
Well, the two of you must be very hungry. Do you live on your parents' farm?
No, we live with Matilda.
Was Matilda the other girl?
No.
Who's Matilda?
She's
Is she
cool.
your aunt's? Or your
She's
cousin?
cool. She smokes.
Well, did she feed you? Why do you need to go out and steal?
Because she says that adults can provide for everyone and children can't. And if we want to be adults, we have to help provide. And whatever means necessary means that we should do whatever we need to do.
Does she make other kids steal too?
Doesn't make anyone do anything. We're adults. We get to choose for ourselves. Life is a choice.
That is absolutely true, and you need to learn to make the right ones. How old are you, little girl?
13.
Wow, that's hardly any age at all. First, let's get you some soup. Are you hungry? Like soup? I hear they have very good soup here.
I'm not talking to you.
You just did,
You just did.
and you did it again,
You did it again.
and again,
And again.
and again.
And again.
So you're a liar,
You're a liar.
and you're a liar.
You're a liar.
You lied about me being a liar because you're the liar.
You lied about me being a liar because you're a liar.
People can only repeat
What's that
things other
smell?
people say.
Ew, did you just... Ew, everyone, listen, that elf smells! She starts shouting really loudly about a strange smell coming from you.
That's just silly. I bathe with lavender soap. And I have soap on my character sheet.
Is it lavender soap, Rob?
I just put soap because that's all it said on the list. I'm assuming that as someone with herbalism skill,
you can infuse it with lavender. Yes, it's fine. All right, so you get to the soup kitchen, whose name I can't remember. It was a good name. It's a really good name.
I don't remember either.
There was some pun on soup. It's a good name. I have to find it. I don't know where it is. Alright, you make it to the soup kitchen.
No, Chad, it wasn't the Crimson Cock. That was something else.
That was the Red Rooster, and that was the inn down the street. Its real name was the Red Rooster, everyone.
You yourself admitted that it had originally been the Crimson Cock.
Well, but it was the Red Rooster when they changed it to that because, you know, Crimson Cock wasn't doing so well as a name.
I would imagine it would do very well. That's a name that draws attention to your place. All right, so I'll take you to the soup place.
Oh, no. It's called... Hold on. This is the one. This is the Soup Spoon Special show. Big Ben's Brothel is the soup place next to across the street from Shenanigans. You take the little girl into Big Ben's Brothel. Oh my god, that's the greatest name. I don't know why I don't have a note of that somewhere. Alright, it is a lovely little soup kitchen.
All right. So we'll get her some soup.
Okay. You get her some soup. She sits down. She doesn't run away. She behaves herself well enough for you guys to at least eat.
All right. So is this Matilda? Is she a cousin or an aunt, or who is this person who takes care of you?
If you don't know, you're not cool.
I can do magic. That's pretty cool.
Matilda can do magic.
I can do more.
Whatever. I don't believe you.
I go, if I can't do magic, then how come you're glowing purple? Very fine.
Oh! Can you change the color? Everyone in the soup kitchen turns to look at you guys and starts to back up.
It can be another color tomorrow.
You see people like grabbing their hats and coats and quickly leaving the building. The Big Ben is behind the counter, hand in his head, and you can hear him over saying, "Oh God, I think we're gonna need to replace all the dishes again." The girl seems pretty excited. You have her attention.
Okay. So who is she? Is she your cousin, or is she someone who...
No, she runs the underground.
What is the underground?
It's the cool new bar. You probably haven't heard of it yet, because it's underground.
I just got into town, so someone like you could tell me lots of things about this town. I kind of need someone like you to fill me in.
Well, the underground is the place where all the cool kids go.
Well, what's it like? How did they build it underground?
I don't know how they built it. Matilda probably did. She's magic. Anyway, it's underground, and there's like cushions and sofas, and there's an endless punch bowl, and you know.
I'm really hoping this isn't what eventually became of the back door.
It's just, you know, it's a cool place. And Matilda's really cool. And she says that we have to choose to be adults. And I'm an adult. And I was just trying to prove it to her.
Well, you almost made you did make a choice today that could have led to you being tried as an adult. Would she been impressed if the sheriff had been punishing you, however he was going to punish you?
Adults get punished for doing things all the time. It's not about what you do, it's about how you do it, she says. And for why.
Well, what do you think the sheriff would have done to you?
Whatever, the sheriff is stupid. He's dumb.
He also had a big sword.
Well, he's wrong.
He could have
Just
killed
because
you.
you have a sword doesn't make you right.
That's true, but he could have killed you.
Well, whatever. He didn't. Clearly, I won out in the end. Clearly, I'm better than he is. I'm still here. He let me go. I'm free.
I got you free. He was going to keep you locked away.
Well, if you hadn't been there, I wouldn't have been caught anyway. So, really, you're like Indiana Jones. You've played no significant role whatsoever in my life.
No, that's not true, because if Indiana Jones had not been there, the Nazis would have continued to dig in the wrong spot, never finding, because their staff was 1 foot.
Nope, because if
wrong.
Indiana Jones hadn't been there, then they wouldn't have gotten the wrong. They would have gotten the whole thing instead of just half the thing. Because they only got half the thing because the guy burned his hand on it. If you hadn't been there, they would have gotten the whole thing and found the spot even sooner.
But it wouldn't have ended up in that box in America. And then more things might have happened with it.
Would have been stuck on the island. Americans would have won the war anyway. They would have found it on the island.
Well, eventually the Nazis would have come back and they put
No, they lost the war too
It was their island. They weren't at war yet. It was 1936.
Whatever, they would have gone back to the
Hitler had
island,
all the time in the world to keep trying.
opened the box again, and died again. And it would have just kept repeating, and they would have kept dying on the island until no one went back there.
Well, eventually they would have figured out, not to do it. It's not like it was a light grenade.
Well, it's not like they would have ever known, because everyone who ever opened the box would have died.
They could have set up a TV camera.
It was 1936. They didn't have remote-controlled TV cameras. And they did have TV cameras, and they all broke. They were filming the whole thing.
They could have watched from a distance.
You really think that would have made a difference? You think God doesn't care as long as you're 100 feet away more?
Clearly, God follows some narrowly defined set of rules, since he let them killed only the ones close enough to open up this box, and yet let him slaughter 6 million Jews.
Well, that's his problem.
But he only killed the Nazis that happened to open the Ark.
Well, Martha's dumb too. So, there.
She's not. Martha sent me to save you and keep you from being locked up and maybe having your hand cut off.
Well, whatever. Are you done with me? Can I go now?
No, we need to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen. You're making bad choices. They're going to get you locked up, and next time I won't be around to save you.
So what are you going to do with me?
I was thinking that we need to find you a home and provide for you, and see that you have a good place where you feel loved and wanted and taken care of, and so that you won't feel the need to impress people by doing bad things that get you into trouble and derail your life.
Are you saying that no one wants me and no one loves me right now?
No, I'm saying that you have people who are bad role models that are causing you to do things that are bad and make bad decisions that could end up destroying your life, and I don't want your life destroyed.
She looks dejected.
Martha doesn't want your life destroyed. Martha loves you. You are Martha's child, and because you are Martha's child, I love you too.
So now what?
Well, until we can find the best place for you, I was thinking we could go to Shenanigans and I can put you up there. Is that all right?
Why don't I just go back to the
Is
underground?
Shenanigans cool enough for you?
Shenanigans is all right. But why don't I just go back to the underground? I already have a place there. I already have a room.
But it seems like the influence of the people of the underground is causing you to get into trouble, which could end up destroying or even ending your life. That sheriff, I've heard that he's killed somebody else for stealing.
Yeah.
He could have killed you.
He didn't. I got away.
You didn't get away. You got locked up in a cell. I freed you.
Look, okay, fine. Take me to Shenanigans then. I don't care.
All right, then. Let's go.
All right. You walk across the street to Shenanigans.
Okay. Keeping an eye on her. I've got a command spell and an entangle ready should they be needed.
Right. Desmond sees you coming and goes, "Sweet Martha's bosom, how long does it take to convince one woman to come back, and this is the wrong woman? Nope, no Bessie's milk for you."
She's trying to cut down. We need to have a talk about her, but in the meantime, I lean over to her. I realize I don't know your name. I'm sorry. What was your name?
Jane. Plain Jane.
Well, I don't think you're plain at all. This is Jane, and I would like to also get a room for her.
You can see she's kind of looking starry-eyed at Desmond. Desmond rolls his eyes and goes, "All right, a room for her as well?"
Yes.
All right. Set up the kid. So, tell me about Gabrielle.
Well, why don't I get her set up in her room?
Yeah, go set her up in the room. Then we got to talk about Gabrielle, because I need her back here drinking stat.
All right, so we'll go up, get Jane set up here.
Yeah, that's fine. Jane's
Okay.
all set up in her room.
And I'll say, and then we'll see what, unless things change, and sometimes they do, we'll have dinner at 6. Do you like chicken or pork, or what do you like?
I like beef.
Fish.
Beef is good.
All right, then we'll have beef tonight.
Okay.
All right, I'll head back down.
You see, the crowd has gathered. Desmond makes his way through them, kind of pushing aside drink orders, comes up to you, hands on his hips. "Gabrielle, where is she? This is important."
She's trying to give up drinking, and she's thinking of attacking the sheriff.
Well, the reason she's been drinking is because I've been telling her not to attack the sheriff, and the only way to get her to not attack the sheriff is to get her in here and get her drunk. So why don't you fetch her back here so she doesn't try to kill the sheriff and get killed herself? Diplomacy,
That is
young...
very different than what I thought was going on.
Yeah. Why don't you get her drunk in here so she can't go kill people?
Well, what happened with her sister? She's very distraught about her sister. Why did her sister go and do this? Do you know she didn't really seem to... Is it something with Luna?
Oh my god, you talk so fast. All I heard was sister Reluna. I don't think her sister's name was Reluna. I think it was Penny. But it could have been nickel or copper or silver or something. Some small unit of currency.
Well, she didn't tell me her sister's name. But anyways, she said that this sister had been really depressed and then suddenly one day was really happy. And she said she thought it had something to do with Reluna. And then that was the day she went and tried to steal from the sheriff. And it seems very strange that she would be depressed and suddenly get happy. And I was wondering if maybe I wasn't sure. Gabrielle was really unclear as to how Reluna got into this. But I wondered if perhaps, Reluna, priestess, maybe cast a spell like command and commanded her to steal or something, because she said it was really uncharacteristic.
No. A command spell has a very short duration. Unlikely to convince someone to steal something if that's not in their nature already.
So what do you think was happening? You seem to know something about this story.
Look, sometimes kids go bad, Sometimes kids go bad. And that woman is a drunk. You can't really trust anything she says. She's distraught over her sister's death. I'm sure
that's why I'm asking you.
I'm sure whatever story she's spinning is full of half-truths, and I don't know what got her sister to do the things that she did. I just know that it's better if we don't lose a sheriff, and it's better if we don't lose Gabrielle, and it's better if I get paid for my drinks, even though I've been giving them to her at price, at cost. I haven't made a penny off of her.
Well, she might be back here. She was saying something about feeling driven to drink. I can't imagine why, what was going on, but...
I can't imagine why either.
She said something about pale goblets.
Yeah, White Goblin, that's her favorite drink.
Is that one of the white goblins over there? I put over at Flip Flop.
Alright. That's not, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Alright, Kobold. Not even white color. Never mind. Okay. So you're gonna go get Gabrielle back here?
Yes, but we should know more about this. What caused her sister to do this? You said I should trust her, so who should I trust? Who would know more about this?
Well, maybe one of her sister's friends, but I haven't the foggiest idea who that would be.
Would Layla know? How long ago was this? She wasn't sure what year it was.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah, she's been really drunk. I'm telling you, at cost drinks, when your family member just died, I'm surprised she could even stand.
I see. Well, I feel like we need to put her on pause until we can investigate this. So if she's turning down half-price drinks, then I'll lay a gold piece on the counter. How long will that keep her in free drinks? What does she
Probably
drink?
the rest of the day.
Wow, she drinks a lot of drinks.
Well, you know, it's halfway through the day. Maybe it'll last a day and a half. Who knows?
I'll tell her that there's free drinks for her today.
All right, good.
But then we need to talk to her sister. Would Layla know? So if this was only a couple of weeks ago, then she said her sister was like 16 years old, so Layla might know her sister, maybe know some friends.
How do you know my daughter?
Because I have a proficiency in local history. It was part of the giant elemental portal in front of Shenanigans incident.
Ah, yeah. That incident. You know, there's a good reason for that incident. We had to go into the elemental plane of fire to stop a fire elemental from overthrowing the entire plane. It was a worthy cause. We were there for days. Days and days.
I figured there had to be a critical reason why you would leave your daughter unattended all alone. I mean, only the greatest of reasons would have led to that.
Oh, she wasn't alone. She was under the care. We had some great people here watching out for her, and she did fine. How the hell did she get her way into the story anyhow? Why are elves studying my family history?
Well, no.
I mean, I understand I'm a superstar, but seriously, it's a little creepy.
Well, it was told by, it's relayed around the priests and priestesses of Martha because a Martha-ish priest was so heavily involved. And he spread the word and told the story of all his doings in this story.
Well, that priest is dead. God's rest his soul. And if you knew the truth of his involvement, you would not be so quick to heap his praises.
What is the truth of his involvement?
The truth of the involvement is he told my daughter that she had demons inside of her that she needed to exorcise.
So the way I heard this story is that's what she thought, and then he explained to her.
No. He had told her that there was a demon inside trying to crawl its way out, and that she was sinful.
Oh, he's the way he told the story.
Yeah.
And I think the YouTube videos would agree.
I don't know what them YouTube videos are all about, but no, he was a sinful man. And, like the rest of your kind, said one thing in the streets and another thing behind closed doors.
What are you implying, sir?
I'm implying you priests of Martha talk a good talk about Martha-related materials, but when it comes time to act, you're all just a bunch of hot gas.
I'll have you know that I act and I try to make sure that badness faces consequences, and I travel with virtue at my side and good intentions, and that when I found that poor girl was going to be punished horribly by the sheriff, that's why I brought her here after getting her some food, because that's what Martha would have wanted.
Look,
and I'm going to find some way to take care of her and lead her back onto Martha's path, the path that all young children should be following.
I hope you succeed.
I hope so
honestly
too,
and
for her
righteously
sake.
do. So, you're gonna go get Gabrielle?
Yes, because as a priestess of Martha, I act and I don't just blow a lot of hot air.
Alright then. Last priest of Martha here blew a lot of hot gas. That's a different story altogether. So
I heard that was just intestinal issues.
And off you go to go find...
And I'll lay the gold piece down to buy her drinks.
Perfect. You find Gabrielle back at her house. This time she's in the garden out front, trying to work the gate. She's having a hard time getting the latch to work. She's in all of her armor. She's got her shield strapped to her arm. She has a mace in her hand, and she's trying to use the mace to work the latch, and she's having trouble with it.
Okay. So I'm waiting. I'm going to watch. I'm like waiting at the end of the block, watching for her to step off her property.
Taking a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Taking another minute. She decides to kick the gate down, because she can't get it with the latch. Botches her roll's door check. Puts her foot through the wooden slats, and now is hopping on one foot with her other foot caught in the gate before she topples. Nope, that's actually a pass on the dex check. She just keeps hopping on one foot, trying to extract her foot from the gate.
So now she's off her property?
She's off her rocker.
Is she off her property? Because she told me that I couldn't trespass and tramp around on her property.
What
if she's in the public property, then I can go up to her now.
One of her feet is in public property. Yes.
That's good enough.
All right. You go right up to her, and she stops her hopping and gives you a squinty glare as you approach.
I say, I went to talk to that Desmond. You're right. I couldn't believe it. He's just trying to entrap you, and there's nothing he won't do. Did you know that he was even willing to give you free drinks for a while?
Free drinks?
Can you believe that he would do that just to try to lure you back in? Imagine just giving you free drinks.
That is a fantastic deal.
Yeah, it's just utterly fantastic that he would do something to you like that. How could he?
Well, look, I gotta go kill the sheriff today. It's about time he paid for his crimes.
Yes, I'm sure that would happen, and it would be good for you to do that today, because I know you're trying to give up drinking, and the free drinks was for today only.
Well, look, it takes a little liquid courage to kill a man. So why don't we swing by Shenanigans first, get a shot or two or three, and then go do the sheriff.
Absolutely, I could use some milk myself.
We don't drink milk, we drink white goblins.
I'm getting really confused about that term, because I was told it was a kobold, and it wasn't white at all.
You don't want a kobold, that's a bad drink. That's pine sap and rum. And it's not as good as it sounds. And it doesn't even sound very good.
All I can say is it sounds much better than all these drinks that have random numbers that I've heard about after them.
I think those are mostly wines.
Ah.
The wines are the ones with the strange names. And the whiskeys.
Well, anyway, let's go get some milk and celebrate your sobriety.
Celebrate killing the sheriff, you mean?
And we'll tell Desmond he can't distract you with his free drinks. He needs to get that from you.
Yeah. All right, so the two of you march back to Shenanigans, where you see the bars popping and locking. There's people all over the place. Desmond's quite busy. He waves Gabrielle over and has a spot for her down at the end of the bar that's got like a little reserved marker on it, and puts a couple of drinks right in front of her before she even has a chance to say anything.
Okay, I'll leave her to that then.
Okay.
Is Layla working down here?
Yes, she is.
Okay. Are we closing in on dinner time yet?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
No, it's afternoon, not quite.
Okay.
No, it's only afternoon.
All right. I'll go up to the room and hopefully Jane is still there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's still there.
Okay.
She's in there sharpening a little stick. You don't know where she got the knife from, but she's got a stick and a knife, and she's sharpening the stick.
Okay. Do you know what has even more power than a sharp stick? I'll reach into my pack and I'll pull out ink and a quill and go, a sharp word.
So dumb.
If you learn to read and write, do you know how to read and write?
Mm-mm.
They say that people that have learned to read and write make, on average, over their lifetime, 47% more than people who don't, because all these jobs open up to you, jobs where you can make a lot of money. And
I don't need a job. I'm going to work with Matilda.
I thought you were an adult. Adults have jobs.
Stupid adults have jobs.
Desmond has a job. Is he stupid?
He doesn't have a job. He has a vocation.
Well, learning to read and write can lead to vocations. What's your dream? What have you always wanted to be and do?
I want to be like Matilda.
Well, what
She's
is
cool.
Matilda like? What about Matilda do you want to be like?
She just hangs out with cool kids all the time, and like, we just hang out and have fun all day.
So she's not cool enough to hang out with adults, is what you're saying?
No, we're adults. Cool kids is a term. Doesn't actually mean kids.
Well, did you like when I cast that spell earlier?
That was a cool spell.
Would you like to learn how to do things like that?
Can you
For your
teach me?
spell? Mm-hmm. It starts with reading and writing.
Well, I'll think about it.
Okay. In the meantime, you know what? Might be good to talk to Desmond's daughter is down there, and she casts spells. She knows how to read and write. That maybe we could introduce you to, and maybe she could tell you a little bit about that. If you want to meet her.
I don't think Layla wants to talk to me.
Why not?
Because she doesn't know who I am. Layla's famous.
Well, we'll just have to make you famous too, then, won't we?
Okay.
Okay. Starts by going down there and being seen.
Fine, let's go down there.
Okay. So go down. 2 Bessie's milk, please.
You get 2 Bessie's milks?
Okay. So is Layla about?
Yes, she is. She is currently bussing dishes.
Okay, can we get her to deliver the drinks?
Yes, you can. But in typical Layla fashion, she sets them down and walks off in a huff.
Okay. I'll have to think on this using all the things that I learned at Miss Farrinder's school for elven young ladies.
Well, why don't we think on
like
those things during our next break, and we'll see you guys for our 3rd and final act. Bye-bye.